Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Nier Reincarnation, let's make a wish list for 2024. This is kind of a follow-up to the report card video. That was looking back, this video will be looking ahead. And I want to be upfront, I do not expect all or many of these to happen. Some of these are pie-in-the-sky ideas. In a recent video, I talked about raising unrealistic expectations as irresponsible behavior for a content creator. But here, let's daydream a little. This is not a predictions video, but I will add percentages for how likely I expect things to happen in 2024. And in the latter half of the video, I'll be talking about story stuff, so spoiler warning ahead of time. Alright, first, limited banners returning to normal. I'll give this a 40% chance of kind of becoming the standard again in 2024. We did get it again with New Year's, but we'll see if this is the beginning of a pattern, or just a one-off thing. This Friday we are getting a new event. There might be a new banner coming with it, which may contain new New Year's characters. We'll see. Next, I would love to see the Recollections of Dusk return back to the original form. 0% chance of that happening, because I'm sure the developers are tired of working on that game mode. But we should see all of the older quests kind of change to the new, easier form. That's a 90% chance of happening this year. Next, I hope they remove the 30% cooldown haste from Karma Slot 3. That's a 0% chance of happening. So rather than wish for that, I wish that they would make Karma easier, more automatic, and less expensive. I think there's an 80% chance of something happening there in 2024. Perhaps being able to save skills that you roll in a bank so you can use them later. And then, I wish that they would give Karma to some standard pool costumes. 80% sure that they'll give it to some costumes this year, but they did say that they were going to give it to all costumes. We'll see if that happens or not this year. I'll give that a 30% chance. Next are buffs for costumes. If they gave some buffs to some costumes, I think that has a high chance of happening. I'll say 80%. But to buff all costumes, I think that's very low. Give that a 10%. The old costumes really need it, though. I mean, even if you give them Karma, they're still not up to snuff with the compared with the very recent characters, just because of the crazy power creep we've been getting. Next, I want them to somehow give another way to get the Karma coins for the Recollections of Dusk characters. Not that I care, because kind of cooldown attackers are dead in Arena with the new Sarafa, Nier Sarafa. But I still hope they give them out. Maybe give that a 50-50 chance of happening. And then a new Subjugations boss. I don't know how much life is left in the game, so I don't know how worth it would be to the developers to work on a new boss with new attack patterns, but yeah. Perhaps they could use the giant mother sprite? Next wish is something not in the game, but that is a second season anime connection. I think that has a high chance of happening. We'll give that 75%. Hopefully it would be something more in-depth, though, than just an appearance of one boss. And also, in the new year, I would wish for more releases of console hero costumes. It's been almost 1 year since the release of the last ones, a 2B and a protagonist. Maybe give that an 80% chance of happening. Speaking of banner releases, I'd like to see Abyssal Marie and Argo released. I think those have good chances of happening, 90%. And then for Recollections of Dusk, F66X and Argo, I'll also give that 90% chance of happening. For the Sun Moon characters, I just have a hunch. It just feels low. I'll give that a 20% chance. But if any of those characters were to get Recollections of Dusk, I think Yusuke and Hina would be the most plausible. Talking about collaborations, I'd still love to see Kill la Kill. I'll give it a 10% chance, that's not impossible. Last year we got the Yorha stage play and Dragon Quest X, which were already very kind of quirky picks, so Kill la Kill is maybe within the realm of possibility. Next wish would be more generic Awakening Stone handouts. 100% chance of this happening, but like how much and on what kind of pace? That's the question there. And I would also wish for more ways to use Zenith Brilliance. I have over 100 now. but maybe a chance of that happening would be low. I'll say 25%. And then, also during 2024, I would love to see more developer communications. Maybe monthly live streams, monthly director's letters. Low chance of that happening, we'll say 30%. Okay, and then here, let's turn to my wishes for the story. I want more details of the Theo and Lavanya characters. I'll be perfectly honest, after the resolution of Girl Monster, it felt like very neat and kind of wrapped up, but while I enjoyed the whole main story arc, getting the dribs and drabs from various side stories afterwards didn't clear up anything. They just kind of muddled things and confused me, and I was like, I don't feel like investigating this. Until we got Theo's final secret story. There we hear that there are numerous Theos and Lavanyas throughout history and possibly timelines, and that cleared out why those side stories were both kind of like contradictory and seemingly unrelated. But some central questions remain unanswered. How were Theo and Lavanya entering the cage? We know about the doors that the carriers use, but like what is that and where are Theo and Lavanya coming from? And what differentiates Theo and Lavanya from the characters whose memories are stored in the cage? They hint at Theo being special. In what way exactly, and how does it relate to the cage? What is her purpose? Because I suspect something there. And with multiple incarnations of Theo, is it possible that Sleeping Beauty from See No Alice and Yona from Nier Replicant are also Theo? And does Lavanya also have other incarnations in established characters like, I don't know, Mikhail from Dragon Guard 3? Okay, next major story wish is Yuzuki and Hina, a continuation or a resolution of their stories. Since the conclusion of Sun Moon, I've been waiting for more info there. It was really one of the top things I was looking for in the lead-up to and rollout of People World, but we didn't really get anything there. But here too, I'm wondering how and why Hina and Yuzuki are different from everyone else, including Theo and Lavanya. What is their nature and purpose? What was actually happening with repairing the sun and moon? Are Papa and Black Mama their real parents, or just modeled after them? And then why don't their kids kind of recognize them? And then what is the identity of the chat user? What is this battle between the moon and the earth? What is up with their dark memory stories? Which is the real them? Which reality or timeline is the real one? Lots of questions there to wrap up. Next wish, I hope for a stronger connection to the Automata universe or timeline, and then more appearances of those characters. We got a glimpse of Devil and Popola in the previous 2 chapters ago. But with the reveal of the Moon Base and 10H and 006, we now know that Nier Reincarnation is most likely in the Automata universe, although the noon side of the Earth might be different, so are we going to see more connections to Automata is what I want to know. I've heard that 10H's short story takes place time-wise around endings A and B of Automata, so are we going to see more console characters? Could we meet 2B and 9S and A2, other Yorha members, possibly original Emil, who only appears in voice form in Automata, or Machine Lifeforms, Girls in Red, Pascal? And perhaps why they aren't releasing console character costumes is because they're waiting for them to appear in the main story. That would be a heck of a gamble if that was the case. Alright, minor wish here. I want more of Argo's daughter. Maybe she could appear in the Recollections of Dusk story. There aren't many of them, but there are some Argo's daughter fans, and I'm one of them. I'm not even hoping for a playable version. I just want to see what she looks like. We got kind of a little look in a Dark Memory story, but yeah. As for wishes concerning 10H, to be honest, I don't really care about her or any of the Yorha members, really. They're all pawns, dolls, non-humans with the same core as the machine lifeform, and I didn't feel any sympathy for them, as I didn't feel anything for 2B or 9S, and that struck me again when I was watching the Yorha stage plays. I was like, meh. The replicants from Nier Replicant, with their newly created or discovered sentience and will, are much more compelling to me. Or like Demas, with his kind of installed will that he got in the previous chapter of People World. What I do care about, however, is Pawn 006. Her mission, her truth, her plans, and her boss. We know that the lower the number on the pawn, the closer to human they are, And we certainly saw that in watching Mama interact with the other characters. And like, what does she know, what can she do, and what does she want? Another minor wish, I want to see Priyat return to human form. And then a final wish would be to see bodies for the caged characters, to have those memories implanted into human bodies. And I wonder if this is what is in store. It keeps hinting at it. And that's how I interpret them entering the real world, which has been teased since the first People World trailer. And so, like, how will they get the bodies? Where will they get them? And then what will they do once they have them? And why is it important that they get bodies? And is all this leading to the revival of humanity or something else? So in short, story-wise, still lots of mysteries. And the biggest mystery is how much will be covered within the scope of the mobile game, Nier Reincarnation. I still have my pet theory that this game is a lead-up to the next Nier console game. The console game could certainly address and tie up these mysteries, but where is that line that separates mobile game from console game? So as a last wish on this list, I wish that the next Nier console game is announced this year, and that it has a direct connection to Reincarnation. Maybe, possibly as a high-def remake with new battle gameplay, or maybe possibly like a continuation picking up wherever Reincarnation left off. But with maybe a focus on 2B and 9S. I will say, however, that there are certain things that are better suited to mobile games than console, specifically having tons and tons of stories in text form. So if elements of Reincarnation are picked up by the next console game, I don't expect everything and everybody will make that transition. The lead writer of People World said that if they made a console version of Nier Reincarnation, it would have differences to the mobile version, so he hopes that as many people as possible play the mobile game for the unique elements it has. And that sounds like a hint to me. Okay, so those are my wishes for 2024. I'd be interested to hear your wishes as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.